This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Financially Fit Business. Get the business tool that turns your financial statements into impactful graphs that help you see what your business trends are to make sure they are headed in the right direction. Go to www.financiallyfit.business and get started today. Thank you for joining us. Here is how we will help your business and you. Where is AI headed in the contracting world? My guest, James Hatfield, answers this question. You might recognize his name since the last time James gave you some productivity tips you could implement immediately. He was so well received that I invited him back to talk about AI in the trades. As a reminder, James started out as the owner of a painting and power washing company and became passionate about helping contracting professionals save time and make more money. Person after my own heart. James is now the CRO at LiveSwitch, a global technology company that services the trades and other small businesses. James, welcome back to Contractor Sense.
Ruth, I love coming and I love talking to you, and I love getting in the ears of our contractors and getting their wheels spinning. So I'm excited to be here again.
It's really fun because you do some really cool things for contractors. Let's talk before we get into AI. I'm not sure everybody knows what LiveSwitch is all about. So why don't you give us the elevator pitch and the 2-minute overview of LiveSwitch?
Yeah, it's actually really easy to understand. I want everyone to think of LiveSwitch as if FaceTime and ChatGPT got together and had a baby and made it for the trades. That's LiveSwitch.
It's a good way of describing it. So now that we have the baby and we now have it in the trades, how do you help people in the trades?
Let's go through 3 steps, okay? Through the buyer journey of their customers. First is getting an estimate, right? This beautiful thing everyone likes to call free estimates. It's the biggest lie on the planet, right? There's no such thing as a free estimate. As a business owner, it's expensive, very expensive for me to send somebody out, but we do it. So the first thing is to get eyes on the issue as fast as you can. We call it race to the face. So you can send a text, instantly connect with your prospect, see the job, and you can run it through AI. And it can do all kinds of things like do your bid, your CRM entry, all kinds of stuff. We'll talk about that. So that's phase 1. Try to skip a few trips in the truck and be the first one out. Second is on-site documentation. You've won the job, or you're going to go on-site and do some additional estimating. Now there's this really cool thing that you carry around in your pocket. It's called your phone, and it has 5 cameras on it. So let's use it. We can use it to document our work, to cover our backside, before and afters, customer testimonials, all kinds of beautiful things as we document our business. And whenever you go to sell your business or you have people training, now you've got YouTube of your business, of all your business processes. It's beautiful. And then finally, it's recurring revenue. I like to work with people I've already worked with before. So you can put a QR code up in the home or at the business. And now one of your prospects that you've done work for can scan it with their phone, say whatever they need done around the property. You get a ping and I go, oh, looks like so-and-so wants me to come back out to do some more painting or power washing or electrical work. So we're hitting every phase of that buyer journey, leveraging the phones in the pockets of your team and of your prospect.
Sounds great. All right. So here's what I'm finding out a lot, and I'm not saying Google is dead. All right. By any stretch of the imagination, Google is definitely not dead. But there have been so many people that I know of now who don't go to Google anymore. They'll go to ChatGPT and they'll say, tell me the 5 top HVAC contractors in Duluth, Georgia, which is where I am. And ChatGPT will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it will make the decisions about which contractors that this person sees. The contractor I work with in Brooklyn, New York, does mini splits, and that's what their claim to fame is. They are listed number 1 on ChatGPT, and many of his clients have told him that they have gone to ChatGPT and asked that very question, and that's why they were chosen. So you're right. AI is kind of changing the world a little bit.
Oh, just a little bit. And if you've been putting it off, maybe because you're a little scared of it, you think it's going to turn into the Terminator and kill us all. I hope it doesn't do that, although they just talked about the singularity here in the last week. if you want to get really nerdy about AI. But, this as a thing in your business, it's beautiful. It's like when any of these new technologies come along in our business, we can use it. It's practical, it's tactical. And I would say, don't be scared of it. Just hop in and play with it. You can go to Gemini or ChatGPT or Grok and just ask it, what can you do for me? I'm a HVAC consultant. I do mini splits in New York City. How can I stand out? What should I be thinking about? What can I do? And anything you want, just start playing with it. That is a great place to start with AI. Play with
Yep,
the tool.
absolutely. And the really cool part about it is that when you do that, they may not have all the right answers, but it will start you thinking along the path and getting creative about some of the things that you actually can do. Quite frankly, I use AI when I get stuck. I mean, if I can't figure out how to say something, quote unquote, exactly right, I'll throw it in ChatGPT. I don't use Gemini that much, and say, okay, clean this up for me. And I may not use everything it says, but at least it will point me in another direction. Yeah.
It's helpful. It's a second brain. It's like having another team member on your team that isn't very emotional either and is always ready to work.
Absolutely. All right. So let's talk about AI in the trades. All right. So we talked about ChatGPT a little bit, but can a contractor use ChatGPT on a day-to-day basis, and what would be some of the good things they can use ChatGPT for?
Yeah. So there's going to be multiple systems you're going to want to take a look at. We'll start with ChatGPT first. I would use ChatGPT, one, to help me with building out my contracts, reviewing my contracts. I would have it look at my website. I would have it talk about how things I'm missing. I just start feeding it information about my company as much as you want to give it and you feel comfortable. And then you start prompting it with different questions from finance, legal. Although, again, when you go into those, you got to be careful. Like, I would say you can go that direction, but I would highly recommend you get a professional in your corner, right? It might be a way to have a second opinion, but I would not use ChatGPT for my legal documents and my finance. I would still recommend have the professionals do that. Just use it on the side. Recruiting now, well, you can feed it recruiting. You can feed it recordings of audio. We do this when we're recruiting folks, and we even have give it our grit score. Give it, this is what we're looking for, and rank this person from 1 to 10. And what's beautiful about using it in recruiting is that AI doesn't have emotions, so it's not gonna be, I really like this person, they're so bubbly. It will break them down. Right. Next, analyze yourself as a salesperson. Analyze your process. Analyze all of your processes. Start giving it process documentation to have it enhance it, look for holes. You want to document all of your process. I mean, there's no area that you can't have it touch. You just start in pick one.
Okay.
But start.
When we get back from break, I'm going to tell you a story about somebody who put financials into ChatGPT. But before we take a break, if somebody's interested in LiveSwitch, where do they go?
LiveSwitch.com, LiveSwitch.com, and say you heard it from Ruth and wanted to check it out.
All right, sounds great. We'll be right back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense.
Imagine you had total freedom. You didn't have to worry about money. You didn't have to be a slave to your business. The words, I can't, are eliminated from your vocabulary. What if you could do what you want to do, whenever you want to do it? A financially fit business could give you that freedom. How? By knowing what your financial statements are telling you and taking action based on what they say. You can do this in less than 10 minutes a month at an investment of less than taking your family out to dinner once a month. And if your financial statements are a mess, you can get help. Go to www.financiallyfit.business or click on the QR code below to get started today.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I'm speaking with James Hatfield, the CRO for LiveSwitch, and something that you probably want to check out. And I promised everybody before the break that I would tell a story. So, James, I'm kind of usurping your time for a minute. But anyway, I had a contractor bookkeeper who literally put financial statements into ChatGPT and said, what do you think, or something like that. And ChatGPT came back and did some of the ratios and stuff like that and said the company was bankrupt, was going bankrupt, and Literally, that's what it said. And so she took this, didn't ask any of us what was going on, or didn't look at any of the trends, which would really show, what the company was doing. And she said, everybody should quit. Everybody should get out of here. Everybody, we're going bankrupt, et cetera, et cetera. And she literally went around to everybody in the company doing that. We fired her, or the owner fired her for doing that. I mean, she didn't even think to ask me or any of the people who were the advisors or her bookkeeper or the CPA about what was going on. She just threw it in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT doesn't know financials. So just be very careful, as you said, with financial and with legal. So
yes, it is not the be all end all. In fact, it'll do that. Story is very appropriate.
Absolutely. All right. So you said step one. All right, we're going to put everything we can in ChatGPT or Claude. Do you have a preference of large language model or not?
Not really. We use different language models under the hood of LiveSwitch, and we look for some of the largest in the world. But, if I'm recommending people start the big 3 or 4, Claude, as you mentioned, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Grok. And they all have different flavors, and find what you like. And sometimes if you already have like a Google business profile or you have a Google suite, you can get kind of a more advanced version of Gemini within your business suite. And so that can be one less thing to pay for if you just want to go with Gemini. It's just as good, in my opinion, as ChatGPT.
All the large language models are learning from each other, which is, they're kind of, I'm waiting for a large language model. You ask a question, it gives the answer, you put the answer back in, and it gives another answer. Just do that loop.
Starts to hallucinate. Yeah, absolutely.
Have not tried that. All right, so we start there. All right, then what do? That's where we start with AI, and then what happens?
Then you're going to look across your entire tech stack, right? Your CRM, your other pieces that you're paying for, QuickBooks, things, and see what AI is built into their systems. And sometimes they tune them up more specific for that application, right? You can start to leverage those pieces. And so I would recommend, especially in your CRM, it's going to have some built-in AI. If not, maybe they'll get there. For us, for instance, in LiveSwitch, we have baked in AI since the last time you and I got together. And now we're one of the only ones that I'm aware of where you can take live or recorded video and then write prompts on it. And our system will look through all of your photos, all of your videos, all the audio, and then you can customize prompts that you can reuse over and over again. As an example would be, write a contract for this. Give me the budgets. You can even put in where you shop to get your supplies. And I have an electrician who puts in the 3 stores he shops at to get his supplies, and our system will spit out custom links to his local home store, and he can just click it, add it to the cart, and be done. You can have it create your CRM entry. I've never met a contractor who likes to get on the keyboard and do CRM entries. So now you can just have it create a CRM entry for me. You can have it change it to any language here or there. So maybe your prospect or customer is fluent in Spanish. They want you to come over, do some work. You can have them speak in full Spanish and have the AI translate it to English if you're English speaking, or vice versa, or whatever language you want it to do. And you can keep going from there. You can run all kinds of prompts on the same video. You can ask it for measurements, right? You can ask it for, give me the near-term things I need to fix. Look for safety. Look for pre-existing damage. You can keep running reports. And we have, like, for our moving companies, they'll go in and we have a prompt that they can run, and the person or the mover can go around and say, this is going, that's going, this is going, that's going, that's not going. It'll put together the entire inventory with all of the weight, with the budget as well, and all of the packing materials they need. And we're also connected to CRMs, so it'll even push the entire inventory of that video into the CRM.
That's cool.
To do a configure.
That's
yeah,
cool.
It's really cool.
Well, the thing is that people have been so afraid of AI in a lot of respects because of not understanding it. I look at AI as a tool, and you just gave a perfect example of doing something that AI can be as a great tool to save you time, effort, and money.
That's right. That's what it's all about. It's time, effort, money, and consistency, and a first step, right? I'd rather have my teams reviewing the outputs than entering all of that information, because even as humans, we forget things. As we train the model, it gets to know you and your business as well. So with one click of a button, it'll produce those reports for you, and you can go on and do other things that are of more high value.
And we should be spending our time, I should say investing our time in things that are not repetitive, that, AI can do very, very easily for us. We need to be the creative. We need to be the overseer. We need to be the ones who go and look at it from a perspective of, okay, yes, I mean, anybody can calculate, I'm using my language right now, a current ratio. But, in order to be able to look at what the trends are and what they mean, you need somebody to be able to oversee that and look at it. I mean, AI can produce the graphs. We have AI producing all the graphs right now. It's just, it's making sure that the numbers are right and they're headed in the right direction and the business is fine. That's still human. I don't think that's going away.
No. I always tell people it's like the Iron Man suit, right? You still need Iron Man in the suit. Yes, it has Jarvis and it can help you and do all the crazy, amazing things, but you still need the Iron Man in the Iron Man suit. This is a co-pilot. I think Microsoft actually labeled it pretty well when they call it co-pilot.
Yeah,
I like that name.
It's a good description of what it is from there. All right, so we're starting there. We now have AI as a tool. So where are you? And we can continue this probably in the next session that we get together for part 2. Where are you on the AI in the robotic end of the world? Do you?
Yep. So we first started off by having it create reports, right? You give it prompts, it gives you reports back. The next thing we're doing is agentic AI and large AI. So agentic AI is, imagine that after every sales call, you would want it to run a report to see how your salesperson did. And over time, if it flags something, like the salesperson keeps swearing at the customers every 10th call, but you don't want to listen to all 10 of your salesperson's last 10 calls. AI can do that, flag it, and then send you out how you like it. It can text you, it can send you an email, it can send you a report, and then you can sit down with the salesperson. Now, swearing at the customer is probably not going to be a problem, but what about closing, upselling, trying to put them on the right? It can look for these trends, and then it, as a manager or an owner, it can just flag it to you as it's needed, right? And then you can take big information like all of your last bids, as an example, over the last 5 years, and then have it compared to the next bid, and how do we square up? You can start to do large, like look at data over a month long. Here's all of my Zoom meetings, here's all my LiveSwitch meetings, here's all my call recordings from my call center, and now start having AI look for trends across all of that big data. That's where we're headed
We're going to
now.
continue this conversation in part 2. So before I close out this particular podcast, if somebody wants to reach out to you at LiveSwitch, how do they do it?
Go to liveswitch.com, liveswitch.com, click on demo, and we'll take care of you.
Very good. And thanks to all of you for joining us. Make sure you listen to part 2. Choose the one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money, too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email Ruth King at hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.